how do we convert a number into standard form? Well, we can use this little toolbox to help us to change some of these numbers into standard form. Because if you take the number 500, for example, that's the same as 5 times 100. And we know that 100, if we go to our toolbox, 100 is the same as 10 squared. So that's the same as having 5 times 10 squared. Likewise, for this next example, 520, that's the same as having 5.2 times 100. So that's just 5.2 times 10 squared. So now it's in standard form. Right, this next one, this is like having 4 multiplied by 0.01. And 0.01 is 10 to the power of minus 2. So that's like having 4 times 10 to the minus 2. Okay, it's the same. For the next one, that's very similar to, well, it's the same as having 4.5 multiplied by 0.01. Okay, which is just going to be 4.5 times 10 to the minus 2. Okay, so that's kind of like a little overview of how you can change numbers into standard form. If they're small numbers, that's not too bad. Look at these numbers here. I've got a massive one and I've got an absolutely tiny one. Let me show you a quick way of doing it. Okay, so what I would do is I'd look at this number and I'd say, right, I know I need to have a number between 1 and 10. So I've got these digits. So I'll start off with that first digit there. There's my 3, and then after everything else, they're going to be the decimal numbers. So 5, 6. Right, so that's the decimal that I want, and I want to multiply it by 10 to the power of something. Okay, and the way to do that is to think, right, well, at the moment the decimal point is here. How many place values do I need to move to put the decimal point over here? Okay, how many place values does everything have to move? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the number on your power is 9. Okay. Likewise, for a very small number, we know that these are negative powers for really small numbers, aren't they? These are the negative powers for really, really tiny numbers. So this is going to have a negative power. So if I look at my digits, okay, the first digit's a 6, so I'll have 6 and then a decimal point and all the other digits after it to 8. That's going to be my number between 1 and 10. And I'm going to multiply that by 10 to the power of, let me try and figure this out. So the decimal point is here. I want to see how many place values are between this point and this point. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now because this is a small number, it's minus 8. Okay, big numbers are positive powers, small numbers are negative. Right, you might be asked other questions like this. You might say, right, that number there, it's not in standard form, is it? Because that number should be between 1 and 10. But we can manipulate this so it is. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this thought exercise. If I've got 10 times 10, if I've got 1 times 10,000, the answer is 10,000, isn't it? If I make this number 10 times bigger and I make this number 10 times smaller, 10 times 1,000, 10,000, it's giving me the same answer, doesn't it? And I could make this, another 10 times bigger, and I'll make this one 10 times smaller, and they still times together to make the same answer. Okay, so keeping that in mind, if I've got something like this, that is the same as making the first number, if I make the first number 10 times smaller, then it will be my number between 1 and 10. But that means that I need to make this number 10 times bigger. So the number that's 10 times bigger than that is 10 to the power of 4. Okay, remember, look at our toolbox. You know, they're going up, aren't they? 10 times bigger each time is 10 to the power of 4. So that's how you change those ones to standard form. Okay, if you've got a small number like this next example, I want this to be 100 times bigger, don't I? So it's 5. So if I make this number 100 times bigger, I need to make this one 100 times smaller. So 100 times smaller than that is like dividing it by 10 twice. So that's going to make it 10 to the power of 2. Okay, so that's a quick look at how you can convert a number into standard form. Hopefully that's helpful.
Joash Maths.